You're listening to Rock the System on Our City Radio. Here's your host, Shelly Dudley.
Good evening and welcome to Rock the System. I'm your host, Shelly Dudley, and my co-host tonight is Justin Masters. And we have a really great treat for you tonight, an excellent UK band that we had an interview with today. And oh my gosh, they are so good. But before I bring that to you, I wanted to ask you, Justin, how are you tonight?
I am doing absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for asking.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I also wanted to ask you, do you ever have any problems finding parking in the city? Do you ever get into the city and sometimes have difficulty finding a parking space?
The sad part is I have a hard time finding parking just about wherever I go, and I live smack in the middle of the city.
Oh, yeah. See, parking can be a problem. This is a bit of a universal challenge sometimes, but there is a company that is awesome, and they are really solving this challenge in a big way for people across America. They are really strong in the Midwest right now, so where you are, they have a strong presence in Milwaukee and Chicago. They are also strong on the East Coast, and especially throughout the New England states. And they are going to be coming out to the West Coast, where I live, in short order. So I'm really looking forward to them getting here, because I know when I go into Seattle, oh my gosh, it is really expensive and difficult to find a parking space. But this company is called SpotHero.com, and they have an app that you can download on your phone. And let's say, for example, in Chicago, they have a parking space goes for about $40 normally in the city, and if you go through SpotHero.com, you can get that parking space for approximately $14. What a huge difference. Huge difference. So for all of our listeners, I would recommend download that SpotHero.com app and check and see if they're in your city. And also, let me give you a coupon code, because they are offering our listeners a $5 discount. And so enter the promo code SHmedia212, and if you'll type that into the promotions code area, then they will give you an additional $5 off your parking. And that I can't even believe, because $14 from $40 is already an amazing savings, wouldn't you say, Justin?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, and every penny counts in people's budgets today. And I mean, just finding a place to park and then having the discount added on top of a discount, you can't beat that. Well,
exactly. And the cool thing is, with SpotHero.com, you can reserve your parking space ahead of time, so you don't have to worry about looking for a space. It's already just waiting for you when you arrive.
That's kind of like having food put on the table when you walk in the door.
What more can you ask for, right?
Absolutely.
Well, so this band tonight that we interviewed, they are like way, way, way cool, first of all. Second of all, they're from the UK, and we were talking about British bands a short while ago. The English have had, well, I say English, but actually many of the bands from the UK have had a great influence on American music, haven't they, Justin?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, and the list goes on and on. I mean, from the Beatles all the way down. I mean, the beginnings of things that began there. And the interesting thing is the Beatles were influenced by a lot of people from America. So it's kind of a full circle story.
It really is, actually. So like you say, starting with the Beatles, they just opened up the door for many, many bands that came later. But we've got bands like the Rolling Stones had a huge influence on American music. The Who, David Bowie, obviously. Your favorite, Led Zeppelin.
Absolutely. Yep, there is Led Zeppelin.
Tell our listeners how much you like Led Zeppelin.
I just can't say enough about them. I got in so much trouble when I told a friend of mine when I was growing up that I just couldn't stand Led Zeppelin. The look in his eyes, I literally thought we were no longer going to be friends after that. It was just that bad, because he was such a Zeppelin freak, if you will. And I had listened to him, and I'm like, yeah, okay, so what?
Oh, that's funny. And see, now I really like Led Zeppelin myself, so, you know, it's just a matter of taste, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, there's things I like that people look at me like I've got three heads. Like, what? Oh, come on, turn that off. I mean, I've got a friend of mine who I have known for a while now. He's just a kid, and I say kid because I'm old enough to be his father. But I played something that I listened to, when I was basically his age, and he's like, turn that noise off. Now, some of the stuff he listens to is like German heavy metal, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's something I'd listen to. And it's music is music. I mean, it's really kind of a subjective thing, and that's what makes music great.
Yeah, that's
because
exactly
it is so varied. I mean, it's like Shakespeare versus Edgar Allan Poe. I mean, there's just a difference in styles and stories. And I mean, as a kid, I couldn't stand Shakespeare, but as I grew up, I was like, this stuff's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool, but the cool thing about all this variety of music is it sings to somebody's soul. Somebody is going to love it.
Absolutely.
So now tell us about your favorite British band.
Well, for me, of course, I'm of a different era than a lot of people, but I mean, for me, probably the band that I latched onto very quickly from the first time I heard them was the Alan Parsons Project. And again, I followed them religiously because the creepiest thing, what spoke to me about that band is that there was at least one song on every album they put out that matched and mirrored my life exactly at the time the album was released. It was creepy, it was spooky, and the music was really, really nice to listen to. Very creative, instrumentally, storytelling. So for me, that was the band. And the funny thing is, with the Shed Spiders, who we're going to hear here later on, one of their members is an engineer, an audio engineer, just like Alan Parsons. And so I'm finding that kind of unique difference because you don't find that in musicians. Either you're an audio engineer or you're a musician. You just don't find the two combining very often.
That's very true. That's very true. And it's a skill, like you say, that you just don't see that often. So it was very cool talking to this band about that topic and about many other topics. So shall we introduce this band to our listeners?
Oh, let's not wait. They need to hear these guys. They really
Well, without further ado, we bring you the Shed Spiders. So you were just talking about your song, Nothing to Prove. Oh, yes. Yeah, that is a good song. I like that one as well. And you were talking about the hard driving bass. How did you come to write that song?
It was it's one of our favourites. We will let people know that it is a favourite off the album for us.
It was a funny one, actually. It wasn't. It was one of the last songs to be written to go on the album, and it was a. I think you get the feeling from the lyrics and the flow of the song. There's quite a lot of frustration behind it, and yeah, it was just something we were going through at the time. It was like quite frustrating doing the album, and people, it's always feel like you're up against it with these things, and yeah, it just came about. Like, and we really, really loved it, so we were like, let's stick with this, put it on the album. And we think it's one of the best actually on there.
Yeah, we felt like it just came out because Ollie had just come to me and talked about certain things about being frustrated and always people expecting certain things of you, and it just came to the point where you literally just said, well, we've got nothing to prove to them, and it wasn't one of those kind of cliche things. I've got nothing to prove. There you go, write a song. It just came about. I thought that's a good idea. That's a really good emotion to a feeling and a moment to write a song about. So
yes.
I thought, well, yeah, it just came about. And I think it's, again, with a lot of things on the album, which we do write about, is feelings and emotions and things that you go through. So, and that is one of them. Like, you've got nothing to prove, for example. I've got nothing to prove. So, and again, you could say the same for a lot of the songs. The title will say it all majority of the time through the album of each track.
Well, I think that's the thing, is that your music is going to resonate with quite a number of people for that reason, because that emotion is coming through and you're expressing sentiments that they want to express as well, but you're doing it through your music, so it's going to touch their heart and their feelings and their minds.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more.
So how long has Shed Spiders been together?
In this current lineup, we've been together 2 years now. We go back like quite a long way. We went to school together and stuff, and grew up together and started playing instruments at the same time, and all that sort of stuff, and started competing and stuff as you do. And then we got together properly in this format about 2 years ago, and it's gone really well. It's continued, just gone up and up and up, like everything to do with the band for us. It's just keeps going, keeps getting better, and pleasantly surprised, actually, to say the least.
Oh no, thank you. We try to, we take what we get as it comes. We try not to, get like too excited about certain things. We try and, because this is all again things that keep happening. It's stuff that we have never done before, and we're honest to say that. We've never had certain exposures, never had so many people coming up to us, or people getting in touch. It's never happened so much before, and like I say, we try and keep a respectable lid on it to ourselves, because we want to keep our head down, and we appreciate every compliment we get, and we want to keep making this music, so we say thank you and that, and we keep our heads at the music, so we keep going, that's great, let's just keep going and going and going until it gets really big. Then, when that goes, then we can crack open the champagne.
Good lads. Yeah. Well, before we go too much farther, can you introduce your band members and what instruments they play, please?
Yeah, sure. So there's me, Oliver, who plays, I do lead vocals and play the guitar. There's Carl, who does the piano and synthesizers, and also mixes our music, which I'm sure we can come to later. There's Mark Beamish, who does the drums. There's John Beeman, who does the bass. They're not related. And there's Amanda Cadwallader, who does the backing vocals.
Well, I'm always curious when bands, when a new band comes to my attention. And for me, a band that really made a difference was also from England, and I really latched on to the Alan Parsons Project when I was younger, and they're still one of my favorite bands of all time. But I'm always curious with bands, how is it you guys actually come up with the tunes? Do you see the music in your head, or do you see the words first? What does that do for you, and how does that work for you?
Yes, what is your music writing process?
That's a good question, actually. I mean, I've always came across people who always have their own, everyone's always got an individual way of doing it, and I've heard of very bizarre ways. For me personally, when it comes to writing a track, I have a thought in mind, dead simple, and I think, what, I've got a thought, I've got a feeling, and I want to express it, kind of thing. So I generally would write down some lyrics first, and then if I write down a few sentences, preferably like a chorus, something like the hook of the track is where I would like to start, because that's to me what I'm trying to express the most in the track. That's what I want to get out there. That's the centerpiece of the track to me. But then I start to write. Okay, it's depending on what I'm talking about, I'll apply the emotion through the sound then. So I want my instruments to come through then. So I don't know if it's an aggressive song, for example. I'm not going to want to put a nice delicate piano with that. I'm going to want to put something quite mean sounding with that. But again, like I say, if you listen to the album, you've got some nice ballads on there, and they're quite emotional, so you can hear the emotional sound. So that's what I've given. So I for my routine is to write down some lyrics, and then I come home, get out the acoustic, and start, strumming away to some really nice chords, or picking away to something until I get that right feel that just clicks with me, and I think, right, that's where I want to go. And from there onwards, I would give it to the rest of the band, and we'd develop it together and build upon that, and then with the rest of the band, and what each and every individual brings to their abilities of what they will do to the song, we'll all bring it together, and then you'll bring out a really good song. Well, I feel it's a good song anyway.
I think as Carl said then, the variety we have a lot of variety on this album, or we feel we do anyway, different like types of music, and I think like for me, I'm actually the opposite. I will have a melody, like a few chords together, or a pick, or whatever, or first, and then I'll go and write my, the vocals, or like the lyrics and the vocals after it. So I think that's actually shows in the album. That's probably, thinking on my feet now, but that's probably part of it actually. The way the variety is probably there from the different songwriting processes that we take between us. So.
Well, I know your fans are going to be very excited to hear this album when it comes out. When is it due for release?
It's actually already out.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, it came out on January the 13th. So we're happy it is out, and we are pushing it as much as we can without trying to, annoy people. But at the same time, we want to get it to people that actually do appreciate the music, rather than, hey, here's a song, listen to it. It's like, what? Have a listen to our track. You really like this? Come and listen to the rest of the album. You love the album, download it, have a look at it, and we've got more to come. If you love it, go and check out the videos. And if you want more stuff, come and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, you name it. We try and keep the ball rolling. That's what we're doing. We're trying to keep things going. So if we're not writing music, we're going to be doing a video. When we do a video, it's a piece of entertainment for people that enjoy the music to just watch, and they can watch it and enjoy it. And like I say, we'll just keep at it anyway. We're going to keep the music going, and we're happy with this album. We're very happy with it.
I can understand why. Do you have a favorite song on the album?
For me, What's Wrong with the World, or What's Wrong, as I think the record company shortened it to. I think for me, I just really like the lyrics in it. I think it's catchy, it's melodic, and it sounds like it has like it almost sounds very serious and political, but it really wasn't meant to be that way. It was just to me, it's just like ironic, really, and I just love it. I just like it for that. I really love it for that. That sort of, it's just observations, but like without trying to be too, as I say, serious and political.
My favourite's probably got to be the Wild Honey acoustic version that we've got on the album. Simply because, you've got two versions on the album. You've got one which is it's a full band version. You've got all the instruments involved, but then you've got this other version which is my preferred one, which is the same song but stripped back. It's got lovely strings in it, and it just brings out the emotion in the track a lot more. And to me, is a lot more meaningful. So, and I just love the sound of it. So to me, I would probably say that, because it sticks out from any other song on the album because of its musical style. I just really prefer that one. Sticks out to me, and it's a very touching song, so I really like it.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned What's Wrong, because that's also one of my favorites of yours. So let's give our listeners a little taste of What's Wrong.
Sleeping under magazines that have stupid themes about our hopes Does your company need to advertise on the internet but you're confused by all the options? Well, we have a solution. OurCityAds.com makes placing your message in front of your target audience simple. Easy to access reports let you know exactly how your ads are performing. Let OurCityAds.com put your ad in front of your target audience and get the results you deserve. Visit OurCityAds.com and start your new advertising campaign today.
You're listening to RCityRadio.com, the rock channel.
Hey, baby, want to catch a concert this weekend?
Sure, honey. I'll jump online and get some tickets. Where should I look?
Go to RCityTickets.com. They have a great selection and good prices, too.
Aren't they the company that give you a free Restaurant.com gift card with every purchase?
Sure is. Our City Tickets really knows how to take care of their customers.
Sweet! Dinner and a show this weekend. Now we have to decide where to eat. Thanks, Our City Tickets.
To purchase tickets to an event in your city, visit OurCityTickets.com because you deserve more.
Hey, it's Shelley Dudley. Rock the System with me Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. Pacific on Our City Radio Rock.
Well, I've got something that's kind of, knocking around in my head right now. I also liked, of all the songs that I've listened to, What's Wrong with the World was great. Nothing to Prove was just awesome. And then I heard another one. And while I was listening to it, Oliver, I was trying to figure out who the vocals reminded me of most, and that was the Matters to Me song. And it took me a while to figure out who you were sounding like in that song, and then it came to me. And I don't know if anybody else has said this to you, but I've kind of felt I heard a bit of Bruce Springsteen in your voice.
All right.
Oh, yeah. I never thought of that before, but now you come to mention it, yeah, I suppose, yeah, actually, yeah. I like a bit of Bruce.
Clear comment, man. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I'm seeing it.
It really is. It took me a while to figure out who that was, and I was going, there's a little bit of that bluesy kind of Bruce Springsteen, quality to that song, and I heard that, and I was very fascinated by that.
Let's lay side by side and share some secrets. Is that alright? Don't wanna hear about tomorrow or yesterday. Do you mind? Let's stay here tonight and leave the world behind. 'Cause I don't care how people see ya or others say about you and me. I don't believe this is just a feeling, 'cause what you say matters to me. Let's take a walk outside. Can I hold your hand all the while?
follow up real quick with you guys. Do any of you, and this is another thing I always like to know about musicians, is there any formal training, or like you said earlier, did you all just pick up instruments and, hacked out notes until you learned to play them well?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. pretty much a case of, right, I want to play this guitar now, so and just spend hours, beating your fingers to death on it. Yeah, no, that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
As a follow-up, I wanted to ask about your vocals, Oliver, because I am hearing that gorgeous Lancashire accent that I love. I lived in the UK myself for 12 years, by the way, and I love the Lancashire accent, but that is not coming through in your music when you sing. And so how is it that you have gotten rid of that accent as you're singing?
I don't know, really. Just kind of like, just like,
whoops.
Just, yeah, I don't know. It just comes out that way, I suppose.
It's quite an interesting question you do ask. Even our friends and family have come to us many times, and because they know Oliver, and they've said, "Is that Oliver?" And I've gone, "Yeah." God, it doesn't sound like him. and I'm like, no, it's him. It's him.
Have you had?
So it's one of those things. I mean, you can't really put your finger on it. It comes out really, doesn't it?
Comes out that way, yeah.
Do you have formal voice training?
No. Apart from a few lessons when I was in school many years ago, I suppose. No, not really. Just.
So it's not that's gotten rid of the accent then?
No, it's just like it's just practice, isn't it? Practice and commitment, and just keep doing it until you get something you're happy with, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, your music is beautiful. Keep it up.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So now, tell me something that your fans would be a bit surprised to learn about you, something that they wouldn't normally know.
Oh, well, that's a question. I don't really know. Are you talking about the band, about me personally?
About you personally.
Okay, me personally.
Well, I'd say the height or something like quite funny between us.
Yeah, there's a height difference between us.
I'm like 5'9" at a push, and Carl's like 6'4.5", 6'5", so I suppose there's something there, like, it's quite funny.
Yeah, I suppose if you heard him on the track and then heard me on the track, you'd think Ollie was a taller one, really, sometimes. Yeah. But apart from that, I actually don't know. No, I think I'm a pretty, predictable person sometimes.
It's funny that you talk about being 6'5", because I was interviewing Graham Russell of Air Supply the other day, and he is also 6'5", and he says when he's out in his garden, he looks like a scarecrow.
Oh, right. Don't stand still for too long, eh?
That's what he said.
What is it you guys do when you're not making music, like if that is ever actually happening with musicians? I mean, what is it you do for fun? I mean, is it just like, I want to go home and, just have a beer and relax? I mean, what is it you do that helps you unwind from a day at the studio or a day making music?
Well, that's quite funny, because when we are actually taking time off, we're still either drinking beer and doing music in some fashion. It's just literally what we. I don't try to come across like we're always there 100%. We literally do. I mean, I spend most of my time, if I get some free time, I'll be at my computer, either looking at something or thinking of, we'll tell you what, we're going to sort out when we want to film the next video or something. We're gonna be doing that. But apart from that, I mean, from a personal standard, I'll go to the gym. I go and exercise. That won't be one of my things to do on a day off. Go catch up with friends, or just try and learn something. Spend a bit of time with me girlfriend, something like that.
Oh yeah, you don't want to forget.
Oh yeah, you don't want to forget your girlfriend now. Come on.
No, not if you want to
I'll
keep.
throw that in there. She's probably listening at this point in time.
Well, go ahead and give her a shout out if you'd like.
Oh no, yeah, she's all right. I think she's downstairs.
Well, how often do you guys get together to practice?
It's let's say practice in terms of rehearsal.
Yes,
Well, it's
yes.
funny. Well, me and Carl get together like every day, pretty much every day. We're together, writing music, mixing music, filming music, putting new things on music, getting new ideas every day. The rest of the band and us get together. I don't know. It's been a bit just like Christmas and stuff, but normally, a few times a week, 3-4 times a week, something like that, and have a practice and jam together and take the songs and that. It's something we're looking at doing now because we've been busy doing the album, making the album. So now it's done. It's something that's our next step is to get back out there gigging.
Yeah, it has been a bit. It's one thing that I will say, has been a very challenging for us. Is the fact that we've literally been doing everything ourselves, in terms of recording, mixing, producing, filming, and all that kind of thing. We've done ourselves, you see. So it has taken up a lot of our time in doing that. So in that, now the album is finally out after all this, after all this hard work. And yeah, we're gonna be back to doing more rehearsals, getting back into shape, getting it all ready, and getting out there and doing some big gigs, showcasing the music around the local area, and then getting up and down the country.
So, as a band, what would you like to achieve in the coming year?
I think for us, we've just we signed it to indie record label PAP Records, who've been good actually in helping us to promote the album.
Yes, and I'd like to, while we're talking about PAP Records, I'd like to give a shout out to Chris Prevost for connecting the two of us together, because I'm really glad that we've met.
Yeah. In regular contact with Chris, and so they've been great pushing the album out, promoting it and stuff. So for us now, we'd like to, our next step is to now that we would like to take that next step now to become, we're getting a bit of interest. People are liking what we're playing, and hopefully we're selling a few records now as well. And we'd like to take that next step into becoming more mainstream, to get a bit more support and help in terms of the mixing the music and the production of the music, that side of things, which Carl does at the moment. It's a great job, as I'm sure you'll agree. But we'd like to take that, that next professional step. And we think we can. We're hopeful. We genuinely think we have a chance, because we've had nothing but positive feedback from the album so far. So we're quite excited, actually, on the whole. It's an exciting year for us.
Well, I'm expecting that 2014 is going to bring great things for you. So what is your favorite thing about being involved in the music industry, the music business? What do you like best about it?
I just love me personally, I love the creative element. You get a really, when you, for example, you make a song, and I'm sure anybody else, listening or anybody else who says this could agree with it. It's when you create a track or a piece of music, the feeling you get from it's just brilliant. You get a really buzz. Every song you write, it just feels like, oh, this is going to be the next big hit in your mind. Like, this is going to sound brilliant when this is done. And that feeling alone is great. I love it. Just writing a song and then you're putting it together. And every time you add another instrument to it, providing you've done it right, it just sounds that much better. And that alone is great. That's why I like to keep doing this. This is more incentive to keep doing it. So it's almost like I love doing it. That's why, like I say, when I come home, I would prefer to just, when I've got time, apart from my girlfriend, I would like to just sit there and do. I'm just throwing that in there again when I'm not seeing my girlfriend. I like to do my music, and that's again, it's always a bonus, especially when there's people behind you supporting you, as well as you're doing something you love. And again, like Oliver said, we're willing to work hard enough to take us to that next level, and that to me is good enough right there.
Well, that's awesome to hear. So what is your least favorite thing about being involved in the music industry?
It's pretty tough in the music industry, and I know lots of people say that. And I mean, I suppose any big industry is tough. Nothing's easy, but it is pretty tough, and it can be quite hard. Managing a group of strong-minded people in a band. Otherwise, it wouldn't really work, would it? So everyone's got 5 or 6 people or whatever. It's quite hard to manage that sometimes and keep everybody happy, as it is with any group of people. But I suppose that band dynamics is it. I suppose that's probably the least favourite thing, because they're all we're all friends and stuff, and sometimes you don't really want to argue or tell your friends no, but sometimes you have to, unfortunately.
Yeah. I think you're right, and that is an interesting aspect, because I told you that I had interviewed Graham Russell of Air Supply last week, and that was one of the things that my co-host and I were most fascinated about this band, was that they had been together for 40 years.
Yeah.
And that's a very long time in the world of music to stay together. And the other thing that was fascinating was that they had never once had an argument between the two of them. And we asked them what their secret to that was. And they said that they all have very well-defined areas of responsibility and expertise, and they make sure that each of them doesn't tread on the other person's area of expertise. So it's an interesting thing that you would mention that, because, like you say, band dynamics can be an interesting aspect of moving forward and finding that successful footing.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree. It's everybody's different.
It's just trying to keep everyone happy, really, and especially when you've known them for a long time, like you said, the Air Supply, and 40 years is a long time to really keep going and not argue, because you're going to have disagreements, but again, it's just part of it, and you got to get through it, and you have to come to a certain point where you both agree on something. And again, especially when you're developing music and you've both got two minds and you want this and the other person wants that, and but again, it's been great for us so far. But that is something we don't ignore. We are completely conscious of that. But I suppose that would be something that we would say is a potential problem with things. But it is with any band, I suppose. But like I say, things are great for us at the moment, so we're going to keep the ball rolling and keep making music.
Well, that's excellent. So what motivates you to do what you do?
You know what? It's going to sound so cliche, but it's true. It's just the love of it. I just love doing it. It's like there's nothing else. I'll be writing music till like the day I die. Really, seriously, I've been doing it like for so long now. Anyway, it's like I just always do it. I just love it. And I don't really do it for anyone else. I just do it for myself, really, and just it's a really cool way to express yourself for me, anyway.
No, I quite agree with that. Like I said earlier on, it is that is literally a good reason to enjoy doing this. Is the feeling from it that you get from the music, and especially when people appreciate it. That's another thing. You love your own music, and it's something that regardless of what certain people would say, it's like, yeah, whatever, you don't like it, walk on. But for me, it's something special. But like I say, when people turn around to you and compliment your vocals, for example, or that was a great song, and that makes it even better. Then it gives you the kick up the backside to keep on writing another song. Right? Okay, that's great. That I'm going to go home and I've already got this another idea, and I'm going to do that. So you do it. Again, it's like Ollie says, it's almost running down this cheesy cliche as I do it for the music kind of thing. But yeah, again, I'm just putting that out there. It's a funny one, but it is true, and I think a lot of people could agree on that. Who are really involved with music, you really do appreciate it.
And there is no better high.
You look into it a little bit deeper than ever before. The more you do it, and you begin to really see it in a different light, and that's what Certainly what I'm feeling a lot more these days.
Well, I've been down. I'm wondering why the feelings that I have inside. I open my eyes and look around, but I can't see a face in the crowd. You cause me so much trouble that I've never known before I met you. So I lie here in bed with the words in the back of my mind.
I have to ask this question, and if I don't, the top of my head's going to come clean off.
All right.
Well, we don't want that to happen, I'm sure.
No.
No, peeking inside my mind is a scary proposition.
Okay.
Which one of you has the spider problem?
I
don't know. I mean,
where did that name come from?
I'd like to say, being 6 foot, plus, I haven't got a problem with spiders, but I do. Yeah, I can be in the room with them, but I wouldn't. I'm not too fond of them.
So, how did the band's name come about?
It was a while ago. It was kind of there was a few of us in the band then, and we were kind of going along. I think there was 6 of us, 7 of us, I think. And we were getting anyway. We were getting onto the idea of spider, 8 legs, 7 people, not quite, but you get the kind of idea, and it just sort of came to me like the shed spiders. I think originally I was thinking of the spiders, and I was thinking I'm sure that would have been done. That sounds too easy. And then, like, it just, them huge spiders you get in the shed, like with the cobwebs and all that. And I just thought, yeah, the shed spiders, and that was it. And I just think it's a cool name, actually, because you can relate, everyone knows them. You get them in the basement as well, like big spiders, like, it's been there for ages. Like, yeah, that was it, really.
Well, it is a great name. It's definitely a memorable name, so I think your fans are going to love it. So tell us a little bit about your fans. What are they like?
Oh, well, they're all right as far as I know. I hope they are. Half of them on the internet, and, we get a lot of there's a lot of social media following at the moment, in terms of a lot of the fans, because like I say, we've been busy with the album, so we're gonna really get out there to physically see more people interested in the music. But for the time being, we get plenty of messages on the social media sites from people, and expressing their gratitude towards, saying thank you, that's a great track. Like, we love it. Keep, I'm subscribing, I'm following, I love your album. It's all positive.
I think something I noticed, like, from past year or two, is that we have a big variety. So, like, we'll go from, like, teenage boys and girls up to, like, older men and women, like, right through across the age range, which is great, actually, because they all seem to like it as well for different reasons, and they've liked the music in the past, and that's, it's encouraging, and it's nice to have, it's nice to have that difference, because you got the younger people and the elder people, and I don't know, I like that fact that it was a bit of a mixture.
So what is the funniest thing that's happened to the band recently?
I'll tell you what the funniest thing is. The drummer, Mark Beamish, he literally, right, he's a drummer, obviously, so he has to use his feet, and he woke up the other day, he literally just woke up, and his feet have just, like, seized up completely. He's been to the doctors, and the doctors are saying there's nothing wrong with you, go away, type of thing, and he keeps going back, and he's, like, limping everywhere, and it's like, so that was, it's probably not funny to talk about, but to look at, it's very funny, because he's, like, limping everywhere.
I've been watching him trying to convince the professionals that there's a problem.
It's like nothing. The doctor's like, just go away. Here's some anti-inflammatory. Go away.
Yeah.
Like,
So, is it like a carpal tunnel thing of the ankles, or?
I honestly don't know. I think he just hits his foot.
I think it's quite cold at the moment. It really is that. He woke up on a cold day or something.
So, who is your greatest fan?
I don't know, really. We've got quite a few. We've got around, we've got about 10,000, over 10,000 following us at the moment on the social media and that. So I don't know. The biggest one is, I suppose, my mum likes me quite a lot.
There you go. There you go. I was waiting for that one.
Your biggest fans are always your closest family, really, aren't you? You can't take that away. It's always your mum and your dad. They're always there supporting you. So you got to say there's probably from this day onwards they'll always be your biggest fan. I think that's it, really. But no, you'll be again. There's many people on the social media sites who will constantly get it. Send you messages just to again say thank you. It was a great track. Love your music. Keep doing it. But like I say, the biggest fan for me is probably my dad. He's always appreciative of it. He's always looking forward to hearing it. So he's I think from this day onwards, no matter what happens, he'll always be the biggest fan to me of music.
For you to say mom or dad, I really was. I was hoping you were going to go there. Otherwise, you were going to get slapped on the other cheek instead of the girlfriend. Is there anybody else within your families who have musical background, or did you just come upon this, on your own?
No, actually, no. There's not many people in my family who actually do music. There actually isn't. That's quite an interesting question, actually, come to think about it. No, there isn't. I just got involved with it one day. I was a big fan of certain bands and that, and I just loved certain songs, and I just wanted to play a song, so I took it on myself to learn an instrument and, take it from there and develop onwards. But for my family, me, no, nobody else does anything particularly musical. So.
For me, my dad plays guitar and bass and sings a bit, and he was in a few bands when he was younger, and I think he was like semi-successful to a degree. I think he played like bass on someone's track. I think it was I can't remember the name. I think it might have been Gary Glitter actually, many years ago. And what else? My granddad's brother or something. They're like quite big. They're from Canada actually, and they've got a musical background as far as I know. So yeah, I say actually music's in my family actually. Come to think of it.
So who have been your musical inspirations?
For me, it's hard to say because I'm sure everyone says this, but there's so many, it's so varied. But for me, I mean, I have to go with Noel Gallagher or Oasis. Well, not Oasis, but no, Noel Gallagher of Oasis. I remember being the first album I bought when I was a little lad, and I'm still following to this day, and I still think he's just great, I suppose, for him. Well, of course, there's lots, but if I had to pick one, I'd say him.
For me, it's without a shadow of a doubt, it's Three Doors Down, which is, from where I live. At the time when I first heard of the band, it was unknown to anybody else who the band was. But to me, that was the reason why I wanted to learn the guitar. Is when I heard one of their tracks, I fell in love with it. I listened to it literally every single day. I would be in high school with it on me cassette player at the time. I would have my cassette player at the time. I'd be in class with it in my ear, listening to Three Doors Down tracks, just singing under my breath as I'm doing in class. And yeah, because of that. That's the reason why I wanted to learn one of their songs. It led me on to play guitar. I wanted to, and I started to do other things upon that. And literally, I can honestly say, if it wasn't for me listening to that band and listening to the music, it's hard to say if I'd be literally speaking to you right now.
Wow, that's pretty incredible. That's a profound influence then.
Yeah, it's really cool when I really think about it. It's quite like, wow, it's amazing how such a in a way a small thing can just blow up to really change things in your life. So
you're right. So speaking of influences, the British have had a great influence on American music throughout history. What are your thoughts on that?
Interesting.
Good question. That things have changed now. For me, anyway. I think the music coming out of the States is far better than the music coming out of the UK at the moment, and has been for the past 10 years. In the past, of course, yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with what you're saying. But right now, not much has happened for me personally in the UK music scene.
No, I'm on the same page as Oliver on this one. In like the 60s, so on and so forth, there was a big influence on, which you can't go without missing, the Beatles, for example, which we'll just mention them, is really something I do feel has changed up the music, as well as a lot of things have, of course, on top of that. But I'm with Oliver on this one. I think the music these days is totally better coming out of the States. Which to me, when I write a song, it has got more of that American style to it for both of us. It's for example, like I say, Three Doors Down. I listen to them. It's what inspired me. That music style and taste is what I feel. So that's what I play and that's what I love. So I listen to it more, and I listen to stuff now coming out of the country, and it's just for me personally, in my opinion, it just doesn't feel like it's given as much as it should be or used to be kind of thing. Yeah, that's my opinion on it anyway.
Well, if Shed Spiders have anything to say about it, I think Britain's about to have another influence on American music.
I hope so. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Yeah.
If your fans wanted to connect with you and also to find your music, what are the best ways to connect with you, and what are the best ways to get more of your music?
Okay, so Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all the social media sites. We're on there. We check it personally. You want to contact us personally, we're there.
Yeah.
We do our best to get back to everyone. Contacts us. In terms of the album, it's iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, Spotify, CD Baby. You name it. It's out there.
Yeah.
If people want to download it and if people want to try it, well, it's on YouTube. We've got some good tracks on there, some nice videos. And try it first. Take a look on YouTube, and then the links are there to buy it.
Yeah, we as well as getting in touch and stuff. We're always making, now the album's out, we will be focusing on doing gigs, but we'll still be making videos. We'll still be producing stuff to get keep people on the social media sites who perhaps can't come to gigs but still want to see something fresh and new. We're going to still be doing videos for our tracks to keep everyone, entertained. Keep them in the loop. Because that's what we're going to keep doing.
I think we've covered a lot of bases here today.
We have. It's been such a great interview, and we can only wish Shed Spiders the best of success. I'm looking forward to giving more listeners a taste of your music and having your music play in our rotations, because it's just great fun your music is.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well,
Really
thank you
great.
for joining us.
All right. Thank you.
You've been listening to Rock the System on Our City Radio. Tune in next Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time for more fun on Rock the System.